Well, as I mentioned earlier, my special guest today is a fine, upstanding young man by the name of Koby Taylor, and Koby owns Fusion Specialty Pharmacy. Koby, how are you doing today?
I'm awesome. Thanks for having me.
Well, I heard you were awesome, so I'm glad that we have confirmed your awesomeness right here on the show. I do want to mention that Kobe was also on Melinda Goodwin's podcast, Embrace Womanhood. And those of you who are regular listeners will recognize Melinda Goodwin and her podcast. So I would encourage you to be sure and take a listen to that podcast as well. So, Kobe, tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you love to do. Not a whole bunch about your family life, but I know that you spent most of your years growing up in Idaho and Oregon, and you like to go flyboarding and wake surfing. So let's start with a little bit of that. Tell us
All
about
right.
you.
So I've been in pharmacy for 30 years. I worked at Rite Aid for a number of years, just doing traditional retail. I later moved to mostly up north, Centerville, Bountiful area, and then I ended up moving to St. George. I worked for a grocery store, and then I decided to go out and do compounding, which is more of a customized medication and personalized medication for people. And it has been a lot of fun. We started Fusion Specialty Pharmacy in 2013, and so I've been doing that for just about almost 13 years now. And I absolutely love the ability to kind of deliver medicine in a different way. So a lot of people might not realize my undergraduate degree was from Brigham Young University in molecular biology or genetics, with a minor in chemistry. I then went on and did my doctorate of pharmacy at the University of Utah. I taught at the university for 7 years as faculty there while I was also doing my full-time stuff. And so I love to teach and talk with people and help students, or I teach at the pharmacy technician school here in town. And so I really do love helping people look at the pharmacy profession in a different way and kind of all the many things you can do to help people find wellness. I don't think a lot of Western systems, a lot of your drugs and things you do have treat symptoms, and I'm really kind of have moved with my own help into finding things that help people find wellness. And so it's like I want medicine to help people heal naturally, get the body supported and doing the things we need to do. And we know lots of stuff like you got to eat better and you got to be active and you got to make some lifestyle changes to really have things your body do what it needs to do to heal. And so that for me has been my life's work, I guess. And I moved into where I meet with people one-on-one and kind of help make plans and find paths to wellness. I think if I can give anything to people is a little bit of hope that no matter what disease they're struggling with, that there's a true path to wellness. There's a way to support the body to heal and suppress the disease, and possibly even make it go away. So they're not dealing with that on a daily basis.
I can see that those would be exciting things for you to be a part of. But I have to jump in here just for a second.
All
We
right.
have to go back to the most important thing that you said. Are you ready? The most important thing is the fact that you went to BYU. I also went to BYU. So we are college alum, go Cougars, which is
Okay.
so
I know
congrats.
I graduated from both, and so whenever BYU plays at the University of Utah, I'm always like, I'm happy whoever wins, I guess. But, which
Yeah.
maybe my fellow Cougar fans are not not necessarily probably a little more passionate about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I got my degree in radio, TV communications, and journalism. And then I got a doctor's degree in the School of Hard Knocks, How to Fail and not think you're a complete idiot.com. So that was my doctorate degree.
Yes, I understand. I understand. I think you learn a lot from what you learn in school versus what you actually get to do in real life, right? So,
Yeah, it is. I'd like to know a little bit more about compounding, and I'm sure that other folks would as well. We've had other health professionals on other shows that have talked about that. But let me tell you what I think it is. You correct me where I'm incorrect and let me know where we're on track. So, as I understand it, compounding gives you the freedom to literally customize a specific chemical formulation to suit a person's specific needs and conditions and symptoms rather than just say, oh, here, run down to the pharmacy and take this pill, get 50 of them. You can say, well, listen, those things probably, they may work and they may not, but what you need specifically is more of this. And then you go ahead and create that. Am I on track with that?
yeah. So we buy chemicals from various different chemical providers. We have to buy USP grade um, approved things, but there's a lot of products on the market that don't. They're not. There's not a manufacturer. There's no big pharma that makes some of the chemicals that we do. We have 7,500 formulas.
Wow.
And so we can make all kinds of things that people know compounding for, that a lot of compounders do are like estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone, or bioidentical hormone replacement. So a lot of people have heard of that, and it's delivering those particular medicines or chemicals in a way that just delivers it a little different. So we like to do them in creams and put it on the skin. We use specialized bases that help deliver those. We can make, say, a kid needs a medicine that they can't swallow a pill, so I might need to put it into a suspension or solution to help them take it orally in a different way. We make compounds for animals because sometimes some of the chemicals are not made or aren't available. And so we make those. We do lots of things like low dose naltrexone, which is not commercially available. And so we compound that. Or we make ivermectin, which is an antiparasitic, which also has there's some manufactured products, but a lot of times we find people need a lot higher doses. And so we just make it easier for people to get the dose they need in a single pill rather than taking 12 tablets or something like that.
Yeah. So when you're compounding something special for a person, let me ask you, do they have to be physically where you are located, or can somebody anywhere in the country call you, contact you, and say, uh, "This is the information I have from my doctor. This is what I need. Can you make this stuff for me and ship it to me?" Can you guys do
Yeah,
that?
we ship all over the United States. We do have, not all pharmacies can do that. In fact, most don't. Most pharmacies are working with local people. All compounds are prescription, so they are written by a provider. So you need a prescriber, a doctor, nurse practitioner, or PA to write the prescription. We are licensed in 36 states, working to get into all 50. I'm in most metropolitan areas. I think we're working on 5 licenses right now to expand our reach. But you have to be licensed in each state to ship in the state. Most everybody, the ones that are heavily populated, I'm in. So I'm in California, New York, and Texas, Tennessee, and I'm in most states that are big and have a huge population.
Oh,
So
that's good to know because our show actually, in addition to being broadcast locally in Southern California in Orange County, we stream nationwide and it's on all the major podcast channels. So anybody who's listening today anywhere in the nation, be sure and at the end of the show, Kobe's going to give you his contact information. Feel free to reach out to him and ask him any questions that you would like and figure out a way to get your special compounding formula created and shipped over to you. I think that's important, Kobe, that people know that.
yeah, for
Um,
sure.
Especially the fact that I like the fact that one of your uniques that happens to be one of your unique selling points or how to distinguish yourself from other pharmacies in the area is the fact that number one, you can compound. Number two, you're licensed in so many different states, practically nationwide. So if nobody is near you, they can actually phone it in, provide the proper
Yeah, and we find
documentation.
people that live out in the middle of nowhere and there's no pharmacy near them that compounds. And so, we ship actually quite a bit to Alaska or Montana that just, and people are, they're remote living kind of in the middle of nowhere. And so they
Yeah,
may be 4 hours away from a compounding pharmacy. So it allows for people to get access to unique medicines. And when you look at different disease states, like I don't think that people realize that they may, they go to a provider and the provider might not even know about compounds or other things. And so we treat all kinds of weird dermatological conditions that may be really rare, where maybe I had a lady the other day and her disease is, 1 in 3 million people. And so what she needs is very unique to her. And so we can think outside the box and come up with solutions that maybe somebody has never even thought of. We make topical pain cream, I make scar gels, I make weird things for like lichen sclerosis, which is a debilitating disease for a lot of women. And so some people have said they've tried everything, and I'm like, well, you haven't talked to me yet, because I can tell you that I've got so many different formulations and different ways to approach different diseases that maybe somebody's never thought of a solution for. And
yeah.
so they're suffering with the symptoms, and I'm like, well, there's things we can do to actually treat that. We're known nationally. We work with universities all over the country in sinus and rhinology. And so we do a lot of sinus rinsing. We're very known for that. We do a lot with ketamine, so ketamine providers. And so we compound quite a bit of ketamine and do that as an alternative for mental health, very effective for suicide and PTSD. And a lot of it's just education that people just the doctor doesn't know, their patient doesn't know, and so they just don't even know that it's out there as an option to help somebody find wellness. And I'm really passionate about products that actually shifts and changes the body to allow the body to heal. A lot of people are nutrient deficient, so I do a lot with supplements and different things like that, of like actually supporting the body to be able to absorb and digest higher quality products that are just getting somebody that helping the body support so the body can heal. Getting people out of fight or flight, getting them to rest, getting them to sleep, getting them to not have anxiety. All of those things lead to better quality of life. And so I spend quite a bit of time talking to people about that, and thinking outside the box.
So is compounding something new? Um,
No, it's been around. In fact, I would argue that compounding is how all medicine was made before the FDA even existed. There were druggists that would make most of the medicine was made, and so it's actually a very old art. And even if you look at other countries, they've had pharmacy in place for 500 years or more. Or you go to like Ayurvedic medicine or Indian medicine that's 4,000 years old, and they'll make things with. They still use a lot of plants, and so they're mixing those, making a customized tea or a customized solution. And even in India, in their hospital systems, they're still using that type of medicine where they're taking herbs and then mixing them together to make a tea for people to heal. So, and they're using the natural plant. Some of our medicine that we do use, like ivermectin, for example, comes from wormwood, which is a bark. And so some countries will still use the natural wormwood versus the, the one chemical that we use all the time. So it's just in the United States, there are more rules and regulations on making these formulations, and so we kind of do that. I also too love to mix medicine together. So sometimes you can take a little bit of lots of things and make a cream that's very, very potent at treating something. So like our pain creams, for example, most of them have 5 ingredients, maybe 7 ingredients, and I'm hitting pain at a different, rather than just doing one thing, we're doing kind of a hitting it with a kitchen sink and doing it,
Yeah.
all different pathways of how pain signals are sent to kind of mute that or help with it.
I think that's pretty amazing. Yeah, I'll share with you an experience I had, which I believe it was in compounding. I'm especially intrigued when you mentioned there's more to this stuff than just taking a pill, making a pill and slamming it down, or a drink or something. The lotions part. So a few years ago, we were vacationing out in Naples, Florida, and I went swimming because the water was lovely and warm, and kayaking and all this kind of stuff. And I saw, oh, look, part of the water has this lovely red glow to it. Isn't that delightful? And I'm swimming around in this stuff, and some guy comes over and starts yelling at me, "You need to get out of there." So I got out of there, and sure enough, the red tile, the little creatures that were in there, had infected major part of my body. So I went to the doctor, and he goes, "Well, this is what it is, and this is what I can do." And he created I guess he compounded something for me, specifically a salve or a cream that I could rub all over my body. And sure enough, it went away, because he said, this stuff isn't going to go away just by taking a pill. We need to treat it this way. So that was my experience with compounding, and I can testify it really worked good. So congratulations. Even though it wasn't you, I appreciate your science and what you do. It worked well for me.
Yeah, there's a lot of great solutions out there that you're just, and a lot of it's just finding a provider that even knows those things. And so we work with a lot of naturopaths and functional medicine doctors that kind of approach things in a different way. And I've had some really great success with some of these alternative things. We also make a product called the company's called Allergy Easy. And it doesn't have any prescription medicine in it per se. It's the products that are in it are natural, and we use like sagebrush and grasses. It's essentially like instead of an allergy shot that you go and get from an allergist, it's a sublingual or under the tongue drop that you can do at your own home that desensitizes you to allergies. And so you can get rid of severe allergies. People have like nut allergies, or they have shellfish allergy, and you can actually desensitize somebody to that so that they don't have an anaphylactic reaction. A lot of those environmental exposures, like somebody who's allergic to cats or horses or dogs, maybe have a hard time avoiding a dog or a cat. And so you can actually take the product and desensitize yourself so you're not triggering into the runny eyes and itchy nose, and
Wow.
actually help with some of
Well,
those symptomologies. And it does seem to improve symptoms of asthma. So
I would like to place an order for a bucket of that stuff, because I'm allergic to all cats, most dogs, and whatever is growing around out here today. My nose has just been an unhappy person. So I'm glad that you have the ability to help people who have those
yeah,
types
and
of.
traditional therapies are, you're taking eye drops and nose sprays, and you're taking an antihistamine, but you're still just treating that histamine release. And so, like, if you can get the body to not react, then it just makes the allergies go away. And that's the part that a lot of people don't. They just don't understand the science, and there's lots of science. It's not that it's not in the literature; it's just people aren't aware of it. So.
No, that's good, and that's one of the reasons why I enjoyed having you on today. I really appreciate the fact that you've taken steps to distinguish yourself, become a unique create a unique selling point that distinguishes you from your competition and other pharmacies, and in a way not only that is profitable for you, but in a way that actually benefits more people who need these types of healing type services. I do want to touch on one thing. I know that you have had some great experience in overcoming obstacles, and I know there was a time that government regulations made it difficult for you to practice compounding and things like that. And explain to us how you overcame that obstacle and the time and effort it took you to do that.
Yeah, we had to do a customized lab. So we did. So I have a lab. I actually have 23 employees. We had to go through credentialing. So, and it was self-inflicted, I guess, to a degree. Not everybody will do that, but it allows us to do more things in other states and follow all the rules that the government's kind of placed on us. Um, and so we paid quite a bit of money to go through the process of becoming a PCAB certified, so professionally compounding centers of America, or like your so it's a regulatory board that comes in and inspects to make sure you're following these rules. And so we went through that process. It took months to do, and we have to send in reports, and they have to come back and inspect us every so often. But we have invested quite a bit of into our lab to make sure that it's meeting all these requirements to make our products consistently. We send our products out for testing to verify that we really make what we say. So we do a lot of things. There's things like thyroid medicine is a very tricky thing to make, and so we do a lot to make sure that we can be very precise in the dose, so that people can get a consistent product. A lot of providers won't compound it because it's so much variability from pharmacy to pharmacy, even from lot to lot. And so we invest quite a bit in making sure that we make a product that's really unique in its quality and consistency.
That's great. So I know that when those government regulations got foisted upon you, a lot of pharmacies found it so difficult to get requalified and jump through the hoops that they literally just kind of went out of business and no longer offer that service anymore. And that's one of the things that I appreciate about what you did is that you just didn't roll over and come home and say, well, honey, we're out of the compounding business because all these government regulations have changed things and we can't do it. And I got to jump through all these hoops. It's going to cost a lot of money. So forget it. I'm going to go back and just be a regular pharmacy guy and be a greeter at Walmart. You didn't give up. You found a way to make it happen. And I think that's what so many business people need to understand why that's so important because you don't give up. You figure out a way to make it happen. And that's exactly what you did. I have some clients and I have some friends in business who run into similar obstacles as that, and they kind of give up. They get disheartened and they don't pursue their dream. And in your case, not only was it your dream, but it's a dream that actually benefits people, that really helps people and change their lives. So, congratulations on that. I applaud that. That's one of the most important parts of success, be it business or success in achieving personal health, is your mindset. If you run around or you sit around going, oh, there's no hope for me. The doctor told me there's nothing that he can do. I have to live with this for my life. Or I'll never be a success in business. It's too hard. People reject me, blah, 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 blah. I feel like saying, just shut up. Just figure out a way to get it done. You need to change your mindset. We've had several mindset coaches on the show, including a guy named Brian Matson, who's amazing, and it's all about mindset. I'm fascinated with how the mindset not only affects a person's business, but also can affect your health. And you're not the first person to tell me this on this show. We've had guys from the Wellness Warriors, and it's all about mindset. You still have to do the work, but if you do the work and got a lousy attitude, it's like it's probably not going to work or be as effective. So do the work and keep a positive attitude, and we'll go from there. Uh, Koby, in the couple of minutes that we've got left here, I wanted to touch on this testimonial about the lady who had pins in her ankle and couldn't get any relief. Can you tell me what happened with that in the next 46 seconds? That's amazing. If somebody would like to get a hold of you, I'm going to give them your phone number. So your phone number is 435-703-9680. Your email is Koby, Kobyt at rx-fusion.com. And your website is fusionspecialtypharmacy.com. Is all that information correct? Oh, wow, I did it right for a change. So you guys are located in Santa Clara, Utah, but you'll work with anybody anywhere in the nation, or at least in 36, 37 states right now. Thank you so much for being such an outstanding guest on today's show. I look forward to getting you guys all back again next week with another exciting episode in the world of how to make it easy for people to give you money. Koby, you take care. We'll catch you again soon, okay? You- You're welcome. You take care.